finding these kind of gurus or guides?
See, people are giving respect not for the position, they're giving respect for the knowledge.
That's the time when we don't have much resources.
So it used to be about nearly 80 lakhs per annum for 64 kbps.
So nowadays, parents' mentality also got changed.
The entire ecosystem was a learning ecosystem.
Or maybe the values are coming down. What do you think?
They really literally scold me.
So how did you visualize?
More than money, they need right kind of mentors.
You are not a visionary there.
I never had a plan that I had to become like this.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to Krish Talks, a podcast which is bringing exemplary people before you with a lot of insights from tech entrepreneurs to innovators to startup founders to inspirational personalities. So today we have an exemplary leader, an extraordinary man, you can say an IT superstar who has brought the software technology parks of India, a new concept, who's also been an advisor and a chief secretary to the AP government in IT, information technology, who's also called as Bhagiratha, who has got many initiatives to the Indian government, especially to the Tamil Nadu government as well as the Andhra Pradesh government. He is one of the key persons who has got IIIT to Hyderabad. He is the one who has formed an organization called ISF, International Startup Foundation. Is none other than our exemplary personality and a great guru in IT, or J. Chowdary Garu. Jatkampudi Adisheshaya Chowdary is the full name. Okay, so thank you so much, sir, for giving us an opportunity.
Thank you, Krish.
First episode of Krish Talks. Okay, so you being our first guest. Okay.
Thank you, Krish, for giving me this opportunity. And also, I would like to congratulate you for starting this new podcast called Krish Talks.
Thank you so much, sir.
It's almost like a Krishna Talks. Lord Krishna talking to various CEOs, and I think it's a great opportunity, particularly these days in the generative AI era. Information is everything, knowledge is everything, and this kind of a useful podcast, how people can inspire the youth. Otherwise, everything looks, oh, what is going to happen to my job, whether I'll be able to keep up my job, whether I'll be able to succeed in my startup. So all kinds of doubts are there among the youth. Many people, they tend to get into kind of a negative cycle, depressions and all that. I think that's where, they listen to the people through this kind of a podcast, they'll get new energy, they'll get inspired. They know where to go, whom to approach, how to really navigate in this complex VUCA world. I think I really congratulate for starting.
Thank you so much. The main intention of getting into this podcast now. Okay, so, sir, for my viewers, can you explain about your childhood detail?
Sure. I come from a very small village in Anantapur district in Andhra Pradesh. In fact, we come from a very poor agriculture family. We were 5 people in our family. I was the eldest son. My sister is elder to me. But very difficult those days, particularly, I keep telling jokingly, Anantapur. Ananta means infinite, poor, infinitely poor district. So there no water, is a dry district. People used to compare that with Jaisalmer. After Jaisalmer, this is the that kind of in fact, people are predicting it's going to become a desert because of the rain-fed situation. So then, in addition to that, there are no industries because no water, no greenery. Industries also were not there. So it's very difficult for farming community because hardly there is any water to cultivate. So to even give good education to their kids also, for them it is a big struggle. So in that scenario, I really want to thank my dad. He got us good education. Because of the education today, I am in this position. Otherwise, we don't have much property, we don't have any other resources. All my education was in Telugu medium, and also I was not good at education. Most of the times, in fact, up to third class, I used to fail in every class. Somehow, in the small village, looking at my father, they used to pass me. Fourth grade, see, that's where I always give importance of mentoring. Good guru is required for every individual. In fourth class, my class teacher, his name is Anjanappa, he is no more now. I don't know how he identified some new talent in me in extracurricular activities. He asked me to enact in dramas, and also he asked me to recite some poems and all that thing. So that gave me a lot of confidence. Oh, I can also do like that. All those first class, second class, third class, I used to wonder how these people are passing. Particularly, my sister was so intelligent in my entire family. How she is able to get good marks? I am not able to this thing. That basic inferiority complex or whatever it is. Whereas this Guru Anjanappa, he really showed a path for me that I can also excel. I can also do well. From then onwards, there's no looking back. I was able to pass myself fourth class, fifth class, and went on. That's where I always see more than the whatever they teach the subjects. The teacher has to inspire. Teacher has to show a new path for the student to succeed. Those are the kind of teachers. In fact, olden days also you see Mahabharata, Ramayana, everywhere the importance of the Dronacharya for Pandavas and Kauravas. So even Sandipuni for Lord Krishna, he was also Krishna. So importance of Guru was that important. That's why in our slokas also, Guru Brahma, they always treat Guru better than, more than the God.
Exactly. After mother and father,
yeah,
Guru is the revered person.
Correct.
But nowadays, if you look at the scenarios, the fast-paced world, the education system, when I meet a lot of people, they say they are not finding this kind of gurus or guides. So maybe because of the fast-paced system or more population, or maybe the values are coming down. What do you think? Right?
Yeah, I agree with you, Krishna. See, earlier we used to give a lot of respect to Guru. Teacher, whatever teacher says, that's the dictum. We used to really give a lot of importance to that and all. Nowadays, I think there is a fault lies with both. The teachers are also not able to upgrade their knowledge. They're not, see, particularly in the internet age, the students, I'll tell you one practical thing which happened. My second grandson, when he was in 5th grade or 6th grade, not no, 5 years old. When he was 5 years old, I went in my daughter's place. One day the online classes were happening, and in the online class, he said, teacher, what you said is not correct. Correct answer is this. Then he did not stop there. Teacher, though I am in this class, my mind is in the degree class. So I could see how he is able to tell that. Then I asked my daughter from where he is learning all these things. She says he goes to a site called amsang.com, and he goes through such sites in the internet and all that. He keeps updating his knowledge. So when a student is more knowledgeable than teacher, then the respect what he is supposed to give to the teacher. Earlier, when you and I were studying, teachers' knowledge was way above all of us. Then we used to look for his knowledge transfer to us.
Do you think that that's the time when we don't have much resources like
Correct.
websites or internet or
nothing was there?
Media.
See, only teacher has to tell, or your parents have to guide you, or maybe your library. These three were the only instruments for you to learn anything. Today, even a youngest kid also, they go to internet, Google, now ChatGPT and all that is thing. Learning anything is possible. Equilibrium education is happening for every kid, whether they are in the smallest village or cities like Hyderabad or anywhere. So that's where I see this thing. See, people are giving respect not for the position; they're giving respect for the knowledge. So maybe I think the mistake is on both sides, because teachers are not able to upgrade the knowledge, and they're not able to give the new direction to the those students. And maybe because of that, students are not giving the same value system that what we used to give. It is not about the Christian. Nowhere, the chair will not give the power and respect. For example,
And what role do you think the parents are playing here? If you look at a lot of these
Yeah.
schools, even the teachers are complaining or the schools are complaining. Over pampering has become a big problem now, or maybe because earlier days, parents used to restrict, or probably they used to focus more on discipline, or they used to even for in my childhood, okay, my parents used to give all the rights to the gurus or my teachers, whether to punish or be in discipline and all. So nowadays, parents' mentality also got changed. Maybe over pampering is something which is being seen. How do you see that?
I don't think it is a over pampering. There are two categories of parents, what I noticed, particularly in urban cities like Hyderabad, Bangalore, and all that. Both wife and husband, they worked in IT industry or some industry. They hardly have any time to really spend that time with their kids. They come home late, and they think that they're sending their kids to some good international school, or some school where they're paying huge fee and all this thing. They're also sending them for tuitions and all that. Somehow they're not able to engage with the children. I think that bonding is missing in where, and also earlier, see, we used to stay in our families. We must have noticed not only our parents, our grandparents, and everybody used to live, and we used
everyone used to care us and protect
Yeah,
us, and
correct. We used to learn lots of it from our grandparents.
Exactly.
This thing. So the entire ecosystem was a learning ecosystem. You look at your father, look at your grandfather, look at the people around you and all that. Now that's missing in cities, particularly when they're in multi-story buildings, and the parents are busy, and maybe they'll go to internet where they're going to right sites in the internet or wrong sites. That also nobody is able to really keep a watch.
Influences,
Influences
good or bad.
Good or bad, we don't know what's all. So the real bonding, I feel it is missing. But I strongly recommend every family, if husband is working, let the wife somehow make some sacrifice, but be with the kids. See, that is fundamental, because you have to give them the value system, give them the culture, give them, show them the path and all these things. They are not able to do that, and even some parents, all the time they go to kitty parties, they go to all the social this thing, leaving their kids and all that. That's not correct, because their role of parent is very, very important, particularly when all the temptations are around you. You take any gadget today, there is every possibility that you may get into the. I myself have noticed, Krish, once I was playing a game, whatever game my grandkid was playing, I thought, let me play that game. While playing, I started getting a lot of advertisements. Some of the advertisements are adult-oriented advertisements. There is a temptation for these kids to just say yes to that this thing. They will get into the wrong track. So we don't know how many kids. We can't blame the kids, because the gadgets are there, and that's where the role of a parent is absolutely required. That they have to, more than earning money, they have to see that whatever the number of kids.
Closely, they should monitor.
Not only monitor, guide. They should, because they are the teacher, they are the parent, they are God. Everything. They look towards them. I think that's what is really required. Otherwise, they may be getting some degrees and marks and all that. This thing, if they don't have right culture, right values, this thing, they'll be more dangerous for the society.
Great, sir. So, according to you, who was your first role model?
My first role model, maybe my father, because he used to work hard, and though he was not able to help me in the studies, he was very flexible. When I had problem in mathematics, this thing immediately used to identify and send me to the right kind of teacher, private tuitions and all that this thing. And at every step, he used to encourage me, even by taking loans for my education and all that thing. So today, whatever I am, because my father gave me that flexibility, so he definitely is my first role model.
Well, the world knows you as JSR, a super star in the IT industry and all. Can you just let us know how did your professional journey start after your education? Or your first job? And
Yeah, a lot of people keep asking me about this question. Actually, to be very frank, Krish, whatever I proposed, that did not happen. See, in our area, somehow we got a BSc, got into BSc degree in Telugu medium that time. Then my father thought that with the Telugu medium degree, if I get some typewriting lower and higher, I'll get some clerk job. That was his plan. I was also, because for us, I mean, we don't have the other inputs where we have to go for UPSC training and look for IAS office. No way those things are
especially coming from
that kind of a background. So our limitations were, so my plan was I had to become a bank clerk or some clerk in the government. So soon after my degree, I applied for various clerical posts and all that. Unfortunately, because of my degree was in second class, I did not get good marks in this thing. I was not able to get a job. Then, being the eldest in the family, my sister says, "Hey, anyway, instead of keeping quiet at home, why don't you join some MSc program?" I applied and I got into MSc Physics in SK University at Anantapur. That time, all my classmates came from prestigious schools, Silver Jubilee College, Kurnool, Government Arts College, Anantapur, and distinctions and convent educated. I was the only student in my entire MSc, second class, that to Telugu medium. So for me to communicate anything to my teachers was, I used to feel, oh, grammatical mistakes will be there, how to communicate. I used to be kind of an introvert. But one day I realized, if I don't get first class again in MSc, then I will not get a job. If I don't get a job, how can I educate my other brothers? Because I am the eldest among the brothers. I had to take I know that my father cannot support their education. That is a trigger. Somehow I should get first class in MSc and I should get a good job so that I can take care of my brother's education. That one transformed my life journey. I started going to the library, preparing all that thing. Finally, by the time results came and everybody said you are in the top 5 of the university ranking. Though I was lowest in the class, that's when I realized that Kastepali.
Hard work pays.
Hard work. It's not about your intelligence, not about, you may be having lowest intelligence and lowest memory, but if you're determined, if you have got that confidence, if you have got that drive, so I keep on telling, it's not the intelligence will make you successful, the drive. If you have the drive, then you can somehow make it.
Coming from a rural background, Telugu medium.
Correct.
So going to a university, start learning everything in English, okay, and great, sir, coming in top 5.
Yeah, so that's when I realized, Krish, so definitely I can do much better. Then afterwards I got into IIT, I got into ISRO Satellite Center in Bangalore. I was working in satellite telemetry systems, and everything happened. But what I noticed for your question, I never had a plan that I had to become like this. There is no particular target driven. it's all happened. Sometimes God may be pushing me to get into that slot, and wherever I get into, I do well. And afterwards, He pushed me to something else. All my journey happened. I don't think nothing has happened as per my plan. I had two plans in the initial days. One is to become a clerk. I did not become a clerk. Second one, when I was studying MSc, this thing, I used to see all the lecturers getting good salaries and having a nice quarters in the university campus itself.
Become a lecturer.
So I should become a lecturer. This is a. Then I could not become a lecturer in spite of my ambitions and all that thing. So, but God had His own plans. He pushed me to the right organizations, and from ISRO He pushed me to BHL R&D. Then from there I went to Department of Electronics, which is the policy making body for the entire country as far the technology is concerned, as far the software and IT is concerned. And because of that, I became the founding director for the Software Technology Parks of India in Bangalore, and which defined today whatever you see the IT services industry, which has created millions of jobs, and whatever the economy that we are talking about in India, the $2 trillion economy, primarily it is driven by the IT services industry, because that increased the consumerism. That also, because of IT industry, a lot of people from India during the Y2K period, from Amirpet to America, a lot of people went to USA. Now they become entrepreneurs, and not only US, to Europe, whichever country you go, because of the IT, there are a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of CXOs, CEOs from the technology world. I think it's all happened because I played that role as the founding director to seed those things early.
So how did you visualize? You came from a different background, you worked in different jobs, okay, then you were into electronics, okay. So how did you visualize about SCPI, or how?
Again, I'm telling you, I was pushed into that, this it is not my vision. Let me confess that the vision was, there used to be one Director General of NIC. He was also Additional Secretary in the Department of Electronics. He was the visionary. He was the one who initiated that India requires software technology park kind of a scheme with a single window, because a lot of engineers, when I studied from IIT Madras, all my classmates went to America. There are no jobs here. So for most of the, in fact, they used to call brain drain, because instead of brain in the drain, it is better to have the brains going to some other
export your brain
to today that became a brain gain.
Okay.
Because they went to USA, they went to Europe with that experience, they are all coming back. But those opportunities were not there in India, except Bhabha Atomic Research Center in Bombay, ISRO, maybe 2-3 organizations in the private sector. There are no jobs. Either we have to become a bank clerk or bank officer, maybe lecturer. Barring that, for this kind of a country of this size of population, there are no opportunities. That's when during the late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi time, Texas Instruments wants to set up their development center in India. That time we were all working in the Department of Electronics in Delhi, in the peak license Raj. In fact, I've seen many times Narayan Murthy Garu, then Ajim Premji, they used to wait in our corridors of the power. Hours together, they used to wait to meet the joint director concerned to convince us to give them import license for importing some this thing. Those days, we used to take 8 months to 1 year to give the approve any import license. And even after approving the import license, the customs duty used to be 350% duty. It used to be so costly. So many people, they could not venture into that, though we had a lot of manpower through IITs and all that this thing, but there was no platform for them to work in India. Thanks to the STPA scheme, thanks to Texas Instruments, who literally forced Government of India to think about creating a new setup called the Software Technology Park Scheme. That's what I give the credit to Sheshagiri, who was then Additional Secretary, Department of Electronics. I also give the credit to our Honorable Prime Minister that time, Rajiv Gandhi, who pushed this to happen, because different departments' powers have to come to one single entity. Nobody was willing to give those powers, because in the license Raj, they used to enjoy the power, asking all the great CEOs to come and meet them for various things. They don't want to lose that power. So in that scenario, I think they wanted to create experiment. Let us experiment with Texas Instrument giving the STP license only for them, with a 10 years tax holiday, and there was no internet connection in Bangalore that time. So we had to set up a satellite earth station for them in the top of that building, wherever they chosen, in Miller Road and Sona Towers. And through that we used to give the this thing. It used to be, we used to charge, VSNL used to charge about nearly 80 lakhs, 40 lakhs for Bangalore to Intelsat and back, half circuit, Intelsat to their location in US and back. So it used to be about nearly 80 lakhs per annum for 64 kbps. It was so costly to have a direct connectivity, to have a meaningful software development. But Texas Instruments, being a multinational company, they could afford. And that's where that small experiment, which Software Technology Park of India started in Bangalore, that kind of a seed. Today you have seen billions of dollars exports from India in IT services, and so many millions of families got benefited, and they started buying cars, they started buying residential apartments, and a lot of consumerism started happening. The whole country got benefited because of the one small experiment which was allowed to this thing in the peak license Raj.
Appreciate being so humble, or maybe the humility that you carry, and confessing that you are not a visionary there in STP.
No, I am just
but still person. I could see you as a catalyst or an accelerator. Okay, so what was your role there in promoting STPIs into other?
See, my basic role was to give the all the approvals required for the exporting software exporting industry, whether they import license, export valuation, whether they want satellite connectivity, all that. They don't have to really worry about going to any other departments for any other government approval. It was a true single window mechanism where they just concentrate on the development of the whatever the software that. That's the reason why when we started STPI in Hyderabad, when I asked all the software exporting companies, STPI companies, to form an association, they said, "Jay, why do we need association when you are giving all the approvals? We don't have any issue. This thing, we don't want to create an association." I literally forced them to create a HISIA, Hyderabad Software Exporters Association. Okay. Because of my push. I mean, it happened. Otherwise, they were not interested in forming that association, because they were telling, "Jay, there is no need, because you are giving approval in 24 hours time." I used to give the import. In fact, I used to carry the import licenses of their this thing to their facility in Maitripuram. I used to give them personally. I used to hand over all those things. So I never used to act like a typical bureaucrat of the government. I used to act like an entrepreneur. I mean, I used to work with the industry, see that the industry really grows well, and they create more jobs and all that. I think STPI played a significant role during that time, helping the Indian software industry to really take off and create those opportunities.
Great, sir. Sir, in this journey, probably while working with STPI or government as a bureaucrat, or probably when you took the charge as the chief secretary for the Andhra Pradesh the IT advisor,
Special Chief Secretary.
Yeah. So since you have worked with STPI, you have worked with some government organizations, you also been Special Chief Secretary for the IT for Andhra Pradesh one time. During this period or a journey, do you have any conflict when it probably with the political system, or probably with other bureaucrats? any incident or any conflict that you have come across, or how you resolved it, or how you come across it?
Actually, Krish, I was very lucky, particularly when I was working for the central government in STPI. I had great support from my bosses. Particularly, I want to mention the name of my boss, N. Vittal, Nagarajan Vittal. He was the Secretary, Department of Electronics. Whatever I used to ask, he used to give instantaneous support, positive support to me. I never had any issues. In fact, though I was head of the STPI for Hyderabad, I never even asked any. Normally, government officers, they're traveling, foreign travel and all that. Oh, big process. But they have given the self-approving status for me. Whenever Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, that time Chandrababu Naidu, we used to follow his delegation, official delegation to USA, to Japan, Kuala Lumpur, and all that. Thing. I used to travel in business class along with the Chief Minister, and we had no issues whatsoever. So I had a very good support from my bosses, particularly in Government of India. When I joined state government also as a special chief secretary, so I had the opportunity. All the officers of the state government, they used to give me full support, and of course Chandrababu Naidu garu always, whatever projects, new projects, for example, that time I thought that it's very difficult to bring IT services industry to new Andhra Pradesh, to Visakhapatnam, because they are already settled in Hyderabad and other places. So I thought we should go for new industry. That's when we identified fintech as the growth engine. Then we wanted to create Vizag Fintech Valley, Visakhapatnam, they used to call Vizag. Vizag Fintech Valley, we branded it. Within 2.5 years, it became one of the fifth fintech destinations of the world. And we created a fintech tower. We brought MNC companies who are established fintech players in the world. And we also wanted to bring a lot of startup companies. That's when I realized there's going to be new technology startups like blockchain technology. We introduced first time in the government at that time. And first conference in India, blockchain business conference, 5-day business conference happened in Visakhapatnam during that period. So we were lucky to get for all these things. I'll tell you one example, Krish. When I proposed to run a $1 million startup challenge competition, the global startup challenge competition. Normally $1 million is too much of money. But Honorable Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu garu, he said, yes, I think that's a great idea. Let's have global companies participate in that $1 million. So we went to various countries, conducted the competition, and brought all the finalists to Fintech Valley. Vizag 5-day conference was there. The final demo day was there. So that gave a lot of visibility to Vizag itself, that's going to be the next fintech destination in the world. So I had very good cooperation from all the other IAS officers and the Chief Minister. I never had an issue.
So when you said Vizag, I have love towards Vizag because I completely born and brought up there. And all my education was there. Okay, but for the past 20 years, my graduation has been 20 years now, and I personally wanted to go settle down in my place, but there are very less opportunities when it comes to a place like Vizag, which has got shipyard, dockyard, steel plant, a lot of industries, a lot of multicultural linguistic people staying there. So government comes and goes, probably the government changes, but development in Vizag, especially when it comes to the IT sector, I couldn't see that much. Probably the coastal areas. Okay, so why power is more concentrated in Hyderabad, and why it's not distributed in the other places, either in Telangana or towards the coastal areas?
No, see, when we started the journey, IT journey in Hyderabad, I came to STPI Hyderabad in 1990. not even a single IT company here, no internet. None of them were willing to come. When I used to go and participate in Comdex and CES conferences in US, and I used to have a STP Hyderabad stall. I used to go to other companies. Sir, come to Hyderabad. Hyderabad, is it in Pakistan? There is no visibility for Hyderabad. None of them are willing to come to Hyderabad. Getting one company, the smallest company to Hyderabad also was a big project by itself. So, because there is no ecosystem, there is no senior the manpower, talented manpower, no IIT, no IIM kind of institution, no international, no internet also. So, during that time it was very difficult. But over a period of time, brick by brick, we have to build. So that's what happened, and we created the ecosystem thanks to the chief ministers like Chandrababu Naidu garu, Vice Raj Secretary garu, even KCR garu, Revanth Reddy garu, all the chief ministers. Hyderabad that way is very lucky. One regime of chief minister from one political party to when there is a power change, this thing, they still gave a lot of incentives, a lot of thrust to the IT industry. That's why it never had a dent in Hyderabad. Now it has come to a critical mass. It is now developing on its own. Like Bangalore. Bangalore, where the government is there, government is not there, Bangalore IT industry is still growing. Hyderabad has reached that critical mass, this thing. But initially it was very tough. All the governments, they have to give lot of support, lot of incentives, lot of subsidies, lot of focus.
So what's the forecast?
So the same thing should happen for Vizag. Had he continued for maybe one more term, the second term also Chandrababu Naidu garu, had he continued, probably it would have created that critical mass, and Vizag would have become the most important IT destination. Now he is now trying to bring those things back. I think the time will tell how that ecosystem on a sustainable way. See, people are a little concerned, Krish, whatever it is. When they make investments, they see whether my investments will be safe in a place. What happens if the government changes? See, in Hyderabad, fortunately, every change of government, they did not trouble. In fact, instead of troubling, they gave more incentives. Whereas there, that did not happen. That's why people have got their own concerns, whether the continuity of the policies, continuity of the schemes will be there, whether my investments will be safer, this thing. Those questions are still ringing in the this thing. That's where people have to see that how they elect that kind of leaders for their state, so that they'll create the opportunities.
Sir, if you look at Hyderabad itself, or Bangalore, or now the complete ecosystem has been built, and a lot of startups are coming, and you are a visionary behind bringing a lot of startups to India, also setting up this international startup foundation, being a convener and a chairperson. So you're doing a lot of fantastic job through ISF. Okay, so you've been conducting a lot of conferences, especially on the artificial intelligence or blockchain, or okay, in the recent past, the Ikon programs that you're doing in the US and India. Okay, so do you think the startups in India are really nurtured, or are they really getting funding, or are they really getting into the right shape? Because I could see some statements in the internet and Facebook or YouTube also saying that all the Indian startups are concentrating more on either a food delivery app or something like a dosa batter, or something which is more traditional. Startups are coming up. Okay, but when you compare with the US and other countries, no, so they are building the real technology startups. How do you think the difference is?
No, see, all these 30 years, Krish, we were focusing mostly on the IT services because that's low-hanging fruits, easy to create jobs, easy to create revenues, and they become global leaders in the IT services. Indian IT companies have become global leaders. And fortunately, the new technology wave like generative AI is now taking away a lot of routine jobs. like BPO jobs are automated, KPO jobs are going to be automated. So one has to think, what is that we have to look for? How do we create new jobs? This thing, startups. See, startups, they always have to look at a problem and solve the problem. And India has got plenty of problems. You take urban areas like Hyderabad, if you go to rural India, there is a humpty number of problems yet to be solved. Each problem is an opportunity for a startup. And the earlier startup ecosystem was not there. See, when we tried to start the startup ecosystem way back when I was the TAI president for Hyderabad, we had an MOU with the Indian School of Business. We ran first startup conference called TAI ISB Connect. When we ran it in ISB campus itself, and those VCs who came from Bombay, Bangalore and all that, they really literally scolded me. Hey Jay, why did you waste our time? These startups are not even college student projects or this thing. The quality is so bad. Next time maybe don't call us, don't waste our time. That was the startup maturity in Hyderabad. I'm talking about way back in 2007, that period. Then afterwards, we realized that we had to create the ecosystem. We formed Hyderabad for Innovation, one forum. This thing we created. There's no angels, there's no venture capitalists in Hyderabad. So we had to create a Hyderabad Angels. So that ecosystem, one by one, we started building. Then slowly now the good maturity startups like Darwin Box, Keka, then Genovity, they're all multi-billion dollar startups from Hyderabad. They've come, not only Juggies, Swiggy and other startups, but these startups are also coming. So now we see new trend of startups happening in Hyderabad. They are into space and defense. There are a lot of startups in space technologies. Dhruva, for example, then Skyroot, who are rocket this thing. So many startups are coming in those areas also. Definitely, it's a maturity cycle, Krish. Bangalore also, initially there were no startups. Now today they're going to give competition to even Silicon Valley. If you go to one area called HSR layout, one small area, there are 5,000 startups in that area. In that small area, like Silicon Valley, is like a mini Silicon Valley in Bangalore. So the cities like Hyderabad also are catching up, particularly with the government support, creating the AICT, providing all the social infrastructure for the giving the data access to them, giving the GPU power. A lot of AI startups are going to come, and we have the advantage of T-Hub and T-Works. It's a great startup ecosystem players, and the government is really taking a lot of steps to see how, particularly wish the Krish, I mean, this era where jobs are going away, India with 1.4 billion population, we have to continuously keep on creating the job creating engine. All these 30 years, IT services, whether BA, BCom, second year, second class, third class, and all that, they used to get jobs, get some IBM mainframe course and go to US and become a citizen. All the stories, honeymoon is over. Now, we have to create a new job creation engine. We thought that new job creation engine is going to be startups. That's when we realized, and we started this International Startup Foundation to support the startup ecosystem, because startup needs mentoring more than money. They need right kind of mentors. Oh no, this is not the right path. You go to this path, and also connectivity, network. Network is network. I keep telling. Without a network, they can't. They may have great product, but if he is not able to get a customer and a revenue-paying customer,
market it.
He cannot market, then he will die. So most 80% of the early stage startups are dying because there is no market for them, no customers. This thing. That's where now ISF is now taking them not only within India. We had several conferences in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Delhi, Pune. Now we are having a conference in Austin. Before that, we had one conference in New Jersey. Before that, we had one conference in London, Jamaica. All these places we are taking our startups to get connected to the world leaders and world customers and all that. I think this ecosystem is required for startups to survive and succeed. So we are still in the not a fully matured startup ecosystem like Silicon Valley, but one day we'll beat Silicon Valley because India is a big market. India with digitally connected 1.4 billion population who are all digitally connected is a very big market. Every startups around the globe, they want to come to India because India provides not only the manpower to support them, low cost technology manpower at scale they are available, plus the big market for any startup. I think I am very bullish that next wave of startup wave is going to create not only wealth for the country and also jobs, new jobs for the country. And definitely this is see, one startup, product startup, it becomes like Google or Microsoft or Apple. They were all one day, I mean, if you read their journey, one day they were all startups. When they started, they were all small, most of them started in garages, including Hewlett Packard and all that, this thing. So today they are multi-billion-dollar companies giving a lot of taxes to the government and a lot of job creation happened. India is also going to create such startups. When that happens, one startup, their market cap will be more than the entire GDP Indian budget. If that happens, I think we don't have to worry about the job creation in India or wealth creation. Welfare also automatically takes care of because of CSR, 2% CSR of these big companies. I mean, they can support a lot of other activities. I think it's going to be a bright future going forward in India because of the current wave of things. We are creating a lot of startups, multi-billion-dollar startups. That's where we want to create junior unicorns from rural India. That's when we figured out how do we enable, why only in Hyderabad or Bangalore? Why can't we create some startups in the Anantapur or Warangal or some, there are bright people are available. There are problems to be solved in their same areas. If you are able to enable, give the ecosystem, they will become the change makers in those areas. That's the reason why we are taking 50 such rural entrepreneurs, rural innovators, all the way to Austin in the month of May. May 29th and 30th is our ISF conferences in Austin, where all these 50 rural kids from 4 states, Karnataka, Orissa, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, we have selected about 50 rural innovators. They are going to present their ideas, and each one of them is going to be adopted by one mentor from USA for lifelong mentoring. When they come back, we want to see that they become micro entrepreneurs in their own locality, and they should become the change makers, positive change makers, so that others who are getting trapped into antisocial activities, they will also become positive, they will get into that thing. I think that will really create the rural youth to become job creators, wealth creators, and there will be a good balance between urban and rural sector. That's where now our International Startup Foundation is really focusing. How do we create those opportunities in rural India?
Great, sir. It's a noble cause that you're working with the ISF Modi that you explained. Okay, so you've started ISF with a vision. Okay, so now that the youth nowadays, if you look at the startup culture has come, so the graduates from the colleges are coming up with ideas. But for an economy like India, where the parents mostly support their kids to get into a job rather than get into a startup or try something or explore something new, it's burning their hands, experimenting. Okay, so what do you suggest to do society or the parents or the students or the community who wanted to get into a startup environment?
See, Krish, promoting the children to get into the entrepreneurial journey, not that he has to become an entrepreneur. That entrepreneur mindset, he should, even if he joins a corporate, they are also looking for a entrepreneur mindset employees. The employees are not just ordinary employees. Okay, you do that job, you do the robots are going to do all that thing. He has to be very innovative. He has to be very entrepreneurial kind of corporate employees are required. So for them, this culture, working in a startup, thinking like an entrepreneur, and how the innovation is going to play, either you innovate or perish. This is only two things. How do you get that the spirit of innovation, spirit of doing something, spirit of entrepreneurship? That's through the startup journey. If the college students are able to get that formula right, not that getting 99% marks on that nobody is really, whether you will be able to do the job in a very innovative way, creative way, help the company to really go from one stage to the next stage. That kind of people they're looking for, and we unfortunately our education system is not able to cope up to those requirements. That's where ISF is also through ISF Gurukul. We want to help a lot of engineering colleges, private universities. I'm going personally addressing this thing. You set up the startup incubators. We are going to help them because that mindset is required. It's not that everybody has to become a startup founder and become a billionaire or this. That is not the intent. Intent is the culture of thinking, problem solving, how to identify a problem, how to solve that problem in a very innovative way. That mindset is required for the this thing. Whether they are working for an organization or they create their own startup, it's up to the that student capability, what he wants to do, all that this thing. But what is required is that capability to think like an entrepreneur. Have that innovative mindset. Only such people will survive in this era of generative AI.
Thanks a lot, Jay sir. Okay, so the complete episode has come very well. A lot of inspiring insights that you actually been giving to our viewers, especially to the youth who wanted to get into startups. The success story, or probably the way you actually evolved yourselves from a rural background to becoming an exemplary personality in the IT industry, especially working with people like Chandrababu Naidu, who's a great visionary in IT, and advising him or advising his government as a special chief secretary of Andhra Pradesh. So your journey so far, okay, and the journey of ISF, right? So thanks a lot for giving us this opportunity. Before we wind up, I would like to call upon the sponsor of this Krish Talks today, Mr. Venkateshwarlu Bura, the CEO of Spripal HR. Okay, so they have come up with an extraordinary product, and similar to Darwinbox or Kika, they're coming up with their own product into payroll attendance and field force management. It's one of its kinds of product, and so very supportive and the startup. So they, when I approached them, immediately said they would support us conducting these Krish Talks with exemplary people like you. Okay, so we have Mr. Venkateshwarlu Bura, the CEO of Spripal HR. I request him to come onto this dais and felicitate JSR. Okay.
Thank you, Venkat, for your support for this startup. You also started, but you are supporting another startup. Fantastic. I wish you all the success, and I also request you to join our ISF Unicorns conference in the month of May 29th and 30th in Austin, Texas. And definitely you will meet a lot of decision makers. We're expecting about a good number of decision makers from North America. That's a great opportunity. I always feel network is network. So that network we are going to provide from ISF and be part of our ISF volunteer and support ISF Unicorn Conference. Thank you for the support. Thank you so much. Oh, I see. Magazine. Okay. I am extremely happy to participate in today's Krish Talks. I was told this is the first episode, and I want to congratulate Krish as well as Venkat for really bringing out this kind of a knowledge series, podcast knowledge series. Much needed now in the current scheme of things, where a lot of uncertainties are there in this VUCA world. What is going to happen tomorrow? What kind of new technologies are going to come, and where the opportunities for the youngsters, particularly students who are going through the colleges and schools, they are really worried what is going to happen to their jobs once they complete. I think for them, they should actually keep listening to this kind of the knowledge series podcast, where the real experts in the industry, they are going to tell what are the new opportunities for them. They don't have to worry about their future. They don't have to worry about there. A lot of opportunities are coming to them. In fact, I keep telling, like Y2K, how Y2K opportunities created many software companies from India, and millions of jobs are created during that time. This generative AI era, actually, there's huge manpower requirement is there. If only we train people properly in that area. So that kind of opportunity is there. So one need not have to really worry about their jobs and their prospects in the future. So that's where this knowledge series like Krish Talks will help in creating the positive vibes about the new opportunities, how to grab those opportunities. Don't sit back and relax just because you are getting some engineering degree and all that. You have to really learn all the new tools, new way of like I keep telling, though startup journey is not to create a new startup company or new billion-dollar company, but the mindset, the creative mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset is what is required. Any student who has got that kind of a mindset, any company will just grab them and give the very good opportunities. Either they can become an entrepreneur by themselves, or they can become a successful corporate executives. But for all of them, problem solving skills, how to really think about in a very innovative way, how to really think like an entrepreneur. We even our company, our this thing, every CEO looks for having entrepreneurial mindset among all their employees. For that, I mean, the journey, new in the new economy, new dynamically changing world, one has to be continuously get updated, listening to this kind of podcast and all that. I once again congratulate both Krish as well as Venkat. I wish them all the success.
Thank you so much, sir.
All the success. Thank you. Thank you.